When did a random act of kindness come back to you years later? I was 19 and completely broke. Like checking couch cushions for quarters broke. My dad had just been laid off in the factory, and my mom's cleaning job barely covered rent. I was working at this grimy diner called Holly's Off, Route 47, making $725 an hour plus whatever tips truckers felt like leaving. Usually wasn't much. One Tuesday night in November, this old guy came in around 11 p.m., looked homeless, honestly. Dirty flannel jacket, shoes held together with duct tape, hadn't shaved in weeks. He sat at the counter and stared at the menu for like 10 minutes. Finally ordered just a black coffee. 50 cents back then. I watched him count out exact change from this worn leather pouch. All pennies and nickels. His hands were shaking from the cold. The diner was dead that night, just him and me and the cook who was half asleep in the back. Something about him reminded me of my grandpa before he died. Same tired eyes, same way of folding his hands around a warm cup. I grabbed a plate and loaded it with eggs, bacon, toast, hash browns, basically everything we were about to throw out anyway. Set it in front of him. I didn't order this, he said real quiet. Kitchen mistake. I lied. Got to toss it otherwise. He looked at me for a long moment. His eyes got watery, and he just nodded. Ate every single bite like it was his last meal. When he left, he pushed a crumpled dollar bill across the counter. I tried to give it back, but he was already out the door. The dollar had something written on it in blue pen. Angels walk among us, Roy. I shoved it in my apron and forgot about it. Fast forward 11 years. I'm 30 now, working as a dental hygienist in the city. Good job, decent apartment. Finally got my life together. My boyfriend Damon had just proposed the week before, and we were looking at houses. We fell in love with this place in Riverside Heights. Way out of our budget, but perfect. 3 bedrooms, big yard, original hardwood floors. The seller was some investment company called Bauer Holdings. We offered asking price, even though it meant emptying our savings and taking on a huge mortgage. 2 days later, our realtor called. You're not going to believe this, she said. They rejected 3 higher offers and accepted yours. No conditions. They want to close next week. I thought it was a scam. Who takes a lower offer? But everything checked out. We signed papers at this fancy law office downtown. The whole thing felt surreal. Closing day, the lawyer handed me an envelope along with the keys. The seller requested you receive this personally, she said. Inside was a handwritten note on expensive stationery. Miss Rivera, you probably don't remember me. November 2013, Holly East Diner, Route 47. I was at the lowest point of my life that night. My wife had died, lost my job, been living in my car for 2 months, was planning to end all after that coffee. Then you gave me that plate of food. Not because you had to, not because I asked, just because you saw someone hurting. That small kindness changed everything. Made me realize people still cared. I got help, got sober, started over, built my company from nothing. Bauer Holdings owns 200 properties now. This house was my first purchase. Fixed it up myself. When I saw your name on the offer, I knew it had to be yours. Consider it a very overdue tip. Roy Bauer. Folded inside the note was a dollar bill with Lupin writing. Angels walk among us. My hands were shaking. Damon was asking what was wrong, but I couldn't even speak. Just stood there in our new kitchen holding this note, remembering that cold Tuesday night. I tried to find Roy. Wanted to thank him properly. The lawyers wouldn't give me any contact info. Said he'd requested privacy. I drove past Polly's, but it had been demolished years ago, replaced by a gas station. 3 months after we moved in, I was planting flowers in the front yard when this expensive Mercedes pulled up. An old man got out well-dressed, silver hair, perfectly styled. Took me a second to recognize those eyes. Just wanted to see how you were settling in, Roy said. I hugged him right there on my front lawn. This millionaire who used to count pennies for coffee. We sat on my porch for 3 hours talking about everything. How he turned his life around, built his business. Never forgot that night at the diner. Before he left, he said something I'll never forget. That dollar I gave you is all I had left. But somehow giving it away made me feel rich for the first time in months. Made me remember who I used to be. He died 2 years later. Left me a letter saying the house was always meant to come back to me. That kindness is just a loan that gains interest over time.